I would say the most aggravating thing we deal with is people who come up and request like Man of Constant Sorrows and I'll Fly Away and
They're requesting. Like,
oh yeah, like anytime there's a bluegrass band, oh yeah, you're gonna be asked to play that song.
Oh, take her easy there, Pilgrim.
Boy, I got vision and the rest of the world wears bifocals.
Well, son, since you haven't learned to respect your elders, it's time you learn to respect your betters.
It is, I think, going to be a very harsh and unpleasant kind of business, and will, I think, require an extremely harsh and unpleasant kind of man to see to it.
I'm your huckleberry.
Okay,
Eric, what's going on, dude?
not too much. How are you?
Doing good. This is my friend Erik Ferguson. We've known each other for a very long time. When we were kids, we did karate together. We probably played in some sport. Everybody plays in like sports somehow or interrelated somehow, in some sense. Erik, can you just kind of give me an idea of like you growing up and your background and everything?
Well, I was originally born in North County, and I lived there until I was 9 and moved out to Washington. And ever since, let's see here, did karate with you when I was like 9 or 10, and then after that, trying to think, got into bikes and stuff like that as a kid. That's always been my thing. And then playing music, obviously, and yeah, went to Borgia for high school and East Central for college. So I've been in the area for quite a while.
Yeah, and you guys, your family has the Revolution cycles, don't they?
That's correct.
So I didn't know that you were a bike enthusiast.
Yeah. Pretty much my whole life. Did BMX racing when I was a kid. I was pretty bad at it.
What was like why, how, like what were some of the...
I was not really an athletic kid. Like even doing karate, like I think about like, man, like if I had my athletic abilities that I have now when I was 9, sports might have been more of an option when I was growing up.
You're a grown man.
Yeah. So, I was just slow, and I never stood up and, like, pedaled hard, which all the other kids did. So, I would lose by a lot. But sometimes I would just, like, show up to the main event, like, race at the end of the night just because I was like, yeah, I did it. Like, I'm going to race this race, too. They'd have to like tell me like politely like, no, you don't get to race this race.
You didn't qualify. You were so bad that you didn't qualify. Actually,
pretty much.
Was that something like your parents wanted you to do, or is that something you were interested in and just lost interest in?
Yeah, my brother actually wanted to do it, and then I was like, well, yeah, I want to do it too. So we both did it for a while. I probably did it for like 2 years, and then my brother actually and my dad was pretty good at it too. They raced for a long time, probably until probably like 5 or 6 years that they did it like pretty consistently. Like every week we would go out to the track and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I got burnt out on it fast, so I would just go spectate after a while. I got into road bike racing in high school. I did that a lot. That was a lot of fun. I was pretty good at it actually, but lost interest. Stopped doing it. But I've been working at the shop actually this past year. Really kind of saved my butt with like all of our shows getting canceled.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so I was very lucky to have that.
That's been around for quite some time. I don't remember exactly when it opened, but yeah.
Yeah, 12 years.
I knew you worked there. I didn't know you were like a bike enthusiast yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it goes with the territory. Like, I don't race anymore, but I love to ride. I do a lot of mountain biking. I like vintage bikes and stuff like that. Like I'll fix up like 90s mountain bikes, and it's kind of fun. Like my brother and I, we live together, and we just like, our conversations literally consist of either music or bike shit. Like just nonstop.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it is.
That doesn't sound like a bad deal.
No, it's not bad.
At least you guys aren't arguing and stuff,
Pretty minimal.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, with like, what's like the worst? Have you ever gotten in a really bad bike wreck?
Yeah, actually, the first bike race I ever did, like road bike race, I remember it was like raining, and they're like, "Yeah, you're gonna go anyways." And I was like 14 probably, and we were going around the track, and like by the third lap, the whole street was like wet, and all these people went down in front of me, and I like kind of tried to get around them, and I like hit the curb head on, and I flew over my bike, and I like tacoed my front wheel like it was toast, and honestly I landed in a bed of flowers, so I was all right.
That's like so cartoony.
Yeah, it really was. I really haven't had that, like I never broke bones from a bike wreck. Actually, the only bone I broke was my elbow, and that was my dad pushed me off a fence when I was 10.
Wow. Whoa.
Yeah.
Dang. Some vindictive shit, dude.
Yeah, well, he says it was an accident. I
You
believe
don't think
that.
so? Oh, it doesn't sound like you do.
You know, it was back to me being an unathletic, unfit kid, and so.
He didn't like you for it, so
Well-
you just kind of was like,
No, I think that like kind of that was my own fault, but it's kind of nice to have a scapegoat. Just tell people my dad pushed me off.
broken up. That doesn't sound like fun at all.
No, that hurt. It hurt bad. I cried a lot.
I used to go down this hill that the house that I grew up on. I'd ride my bike down this hill, and I would do it with like no handles, or I wouldn't put have my hand on the hand, and I would just like go back and forth. And I got really good at it. And then one time, I was going too fast, and it was like right before I hit my yard, and I grabbed my handlebars in time, but then like I just freaking flipped, and it was bad. In my front yard, that's the worst. That's the worst bike accident ever. I had gravel on my knees.
Oh man, did anybody see?
I don't think so. No, I was rolling solo.
That's good.
But I went to my friend's house that night, and like his mom took the gravel out of my knees. 'Cause I didn't say anything. I didn't know. I was like, oh, I don't know.
They just
And then-
got rocks.
Yeah, it was like just rocks in there, chunks of asphalt. That's
Yeah.
about it. That's the worst. I didn't like get into biking though.
That's not a lot of people do. I get it.
Are there a lot of races around here?
No. Like you got to go places for that, but also like you got to buy a nice bike to like enjoy it, and not everybody wants to spend like several $100s or even several $1,000s on a bike. So I get it.
What's like a decent bike price?
Like $500 or $600 entry level.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say like most people who race, they typically start around like, I don't know, $2,000 range, go up from there.
Do you have to get the things with the shoes?
You don't have to. They're helpful.
Highly recommended.
Yeah, it just makes you go faster.
Okay. My cousins were into mountain biking and like road bike. He's got a road bike.
Uh-huh.
And he did it for a long time. It was a Trek.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
My first road bike was a Trek.
It's a U.S. postal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that like a special edition?
Yeah, that was like the old USPS team, like Lance Armstrong, and yeah, those bikes are pretty well sought after. I'd say it's kind of a special edition thing.
Oh, that's funny. I wonder if he knows that.
Probably.
He might listen to this and be like, "Oh, that's cool."
I'm going to sell my bike.
I don't know. He's had that for a while. I think he still does have it.
I'd hold on to it.
But he still rides around sometimes on it. But yeah, I don't know. I used to like Frankenstein my bicycles when I was a kid. Like, I would change out tires and and handlebars and stuff. And,
I did that too.
And it was not good. It was a mess sometimes.
I used to take like my 20-inch bike, and I had like a little 16-inch wheel. I'd put that on the front, so I'd have like a big wheel in the back and like a small wheel in the front. It looked stupid, but thought it was so cool.
I always wanted one of those stupid chopper bikes.
Oh yeah.
Was I the only one?
Oh, dude,
I coveted those.
They come into the bike shop and they're just trash. It's so terrible to work on them.
Though they do like moms bring their kids like chopper bikes in there.
Yeah, well, sometimes. I guess that was a big thing, like back in like 2008. I remember they'd like always come in. It was like a Walmart special. I guess most of them have broken apart by now because I actually don't see them anymore.
It was probably just like a bike fashion fad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I Frankenstein. I remember one time I was airing up a tire in the middle, like at somewhere close to. It was like Fifth Street, and it got so bad, like the tire popped and it sounded like a gunshot. And like it's like it's a busy area, and I was like, ooh, when I'm like 10 years old.
I do that in the bike shop sometimes. It scares people. It's
What's like some of the stuff that you have to do on a day-to-day basis there?
a lot of flat repairs, and then like we have like tune-up packages and stuff that we do typically, but like we'll do like more extensive work like bleeding hydraulic brakes or bearing overhauls, things like that. Or like wheel overhauls, like replacing bearings and stuff. So it depends on I would say on average we're pretty much working on like a lot of cheap bikes that just like everyday bikes, and most of those people don't really care about like top performance. So we'll just do like a tune-up, which pretty much adjusts everything and then lubricates it. You're good to go. Air up your tires. So, but I would say, yeah, the most thing I do is replace tubes and tires. And
Probably good to know. I don't know how to do that.
it's really easy. I don't understand why people don't know how to do it, but I mean, I do it all the time. So,
This is my most recent bicycle endeavor. I don't really bike at all.
mhm.
And my friends were going down the Katy Trail, and they were gonna go down. I think it was like 27 miles. Like we started up in like St. Charles,
Oh yeah,
and I haven't biked in a long time. And
on the Katy Trail.
yeah, on the Katy Trail, and I was using my mom's bike, and she doesn't really ever bike that much, so there was a flat tire in the back, and I was like, I didn't bring any water. I brought water bottles, and then I thought there was water fountains on the way down, and there are none.
Yeah.
There are absolutely none. And I was like, I had really like drank a lot the night before.
Yeah,
So I was
that's
like,
rough.
I was like feeling it really bad. And yeah, that was the worst thing ever, because we went all the way to Defiance, and there was a bike shop, and so I had biked 25 miles or something like that on a flat tire, and we barely had any water. That was horrible.
Oh, that sounds terrible. The thing about the Katy Trail is too, like, it's flat, which everybody's like, oh, it's easy, it's flat. But the thing is, you can't stop pedaling. Like, you have to pedal. You never get to coast.
There's no hills.
Yeah. So you never get a break. And I've done that before too. I rode to Defiance and back from Dutso. Like, this was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, and I really wasn't riding my bike at all. And it was like the first time in like 6 months. I'm like, I'll just go do that. 30 some miles, it'll be easy. And I just hit a wall. It was rough.
Yeah, that was not a good time for me, and it was not good. But we got through it. I was glad whenever we get our bikes patched or whatever, so that was good.
There's this kid that rides in the bike shop, or guy, Luke Davis. He just rode like a few weeks ago. He just rode the whole entire Katy Trail in under 16 hours.
Is that like a new record?
No, it's not a record, but like, I mean, it's up there. Nobody really does it. It was pretty cool to see. So, yeah, he's like, he goes out and rides 100 miles for fun. So,
Does he do like marathons or whatever they're called? Triathlons?
he doesn't.
Triathlons?
He just rides his bike, rides it all the time. I think he rode 13,000 miles last year.
What's the farthest you've ever ridden?
100 miles.
Where at?
Like, you got to go pretty far to ride 100 miles. So, like, you start in Washington, and you go, like, out to, like, Eureka, and then, like, come back this way towards, like, Union, and then come back up into Washington.
How long did it take you?
Like, 7 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a long time. I was sore.
That's a feat, dude. And you just did it because you just felt like it? You just wanted to do it?
There was a group of people doing it. Like, I don't think I would do it by myself. I don't have the willpower. Like, seriously, I ride by myself. I always look for, like, oh, I could take this road. This is going to get me home a lot faster.
I cheat all the time. We all do it.
That's right.
I could do this, but I'll stop after this song on my headphones. But dude, so Revolution Cycles. Also, I know you've been into music for some time. But like, when did you start getting into music?
I mean, I did piano lessons as a kid, and I guess I was in middle school. My parents bought me a bass guitar, and actually before that I did drums for a while. I did percussion in grade school and high school band, and did I played bass. Like I got it in middle school, and in high school I started like really playing it, and then it came time to like, well, what do you want to do for school after high school? And like I was looking at environmental stuff for the longest time, and realized I was just like, I kind of want to try music. So I did music, and actually did piano as my applied instrument. So took 6 semesters of like private lessons in school for piano, and towards the end, I was finally able to afford an upright bass, and so I bought that. And I was gonna switch my instrument, but they told me I'd have to do like the entire like 6 semesters of lessons over. So I just stuck with piano. But I honestly don't really play piano that much. I actually plugged it in, like I got a workstation keyboard, like pretty cool thing. I haven't used it in over a year. I just plugged it in for the first time. But yeah, for playing instruments, I would say high school. That's when things really started to take off.
And you do a few, but okay. So leading into that, so you've been in like several bands and stuff.
Yeah.
How many bands have you been in? And what have you played for them?
I mean, I played bass in all of them. I did like a keyboard, I guess, a few times in high school, but it just wasn't really that good. There's a difference between playing piano, like classical piano, and playing keys in a band. And
Like the pop.
Yeah, I can't do that
melodies and
shit.
stuff?
Yeah, I can't do that.
Really, your brain is like trained for classical.
Yeah, it's like I can read music and play what the music is in front of me, but when it comes time to like, hey, play these jazzy chords, I'm like, like I can't do it. So yeah, I mean, pretty much always played bass in most of these bands. Played with a few people in high school. I think we called ourselves Captain Cheech and the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
Oh man,
Yeah.
quite a name.
Yeah. And let's see here. Nine Rabbits Laughing, and then Echo Bass Quartet, Woodshine, and One Way Traffic. That's the newest one I've been in. I think that's about it. So five groups total. I'll like sit in for people. I do like session music, so I'll play in musicals at school, different jazz bands if they need like a sit in. I've never been like the permanent bass player in a jazz band, but it's like too much commitment. So I would like show up if their guy can't sit in or something like that. Couple people from East Central have a few groups that I would participate in every once in a while, so that was fun. I don't do it quite as much anymore, but One Way Traffic is kind of taken like a full-time thing, I guess. Or not really full-time, but I mean, it takes up a lot of time for sure.
And that I listened to the Echo Bass Quartet earlier.
Oh yeah?
I was listening to it on Spotify. Were you playing in it at that time?
Yeah, that's all us. That's me, AJ Halcrow, JJ Jasper, and Trevor Oswald. They're mostly St. Louis based. And that was like, I mean, and it still exists. We haven't played in like the last year, just because of all of our situation going on in life right now. And then also, we just kind of all had some other stuff going on in the last year that we kind of like took it back. But I really look forward to doing that again. Like that group is just, it's fun. It's very different. And
yeah, it's really cool. It's really jammy, and it's just like I listened to it pretty much all day.
Yeah,
so I
that's
probably
awesome.
listened to it like twice.
That's sweet.
And it was just something I was like, this is like stuff I can exercise to and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
it's really cool. Is that kind of like your genre? Like what would you call that genre? Because it's very,
it's a jammy. Like we consider ourselves a jam band. I mean, that's a pretty vague term, I guess. Like it's nothing like the Grateful Dead, really. But we, we kind of, like, our influences, I would say, in that group were kind of like, I don't know, Talking Heads, Fish, and, like, some kind of Frank Zappa stuff, even.
yeah, I can get like Talking Heads.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to very little Frank Zappa though.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Dude, he's a character. I mean, it's hard to get into. It's hard to find good Zappa, like, or like something that like allows you to like get into it, but once you find like that gateway, like it could be a wormhole for sure.
What other like weird people do you listen to?
Wien. Do you know who Wien is?
I know who Wien is. Yeah,
Wien's one of my
Wien's
favorite
awesome.
bands. Yeah,
It's great.
yeah. Like, it's funny. I always tell people like they're like, "Who's Wien?" And I'm like, "All right, go listen to like one album. You'll find at least one song you like. Like, there's one Wien song for
Everything's so
everybody."
different, and it's just like there's just so many different types of songs
Oh yeah.
and so many weird things, and you'll find something you like.
Oh yeah,
Because
definitely.
it's like it's funny, but it's also not funny.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's good.
But yeah, these guys like seem to not take it seriously so much, but they're also amazing songwriters.
Yeah, they're just like really good musicians and songwriters.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
Yeah, those guys are goofy. So yeah, Wien's one of my favorites. Humphreys, McGee, and Fish. Like, I'm really big into those two groups as well. Once again, more of the jam band kind of stuff. So 20-minute songs, things like that. Every live show is different than the other one, so I try to frequent those.
The music you guys did record, and it's like on Spotify. Is that all written out? Is that like all planned, or is that something you guys were just jamming to? And
No, that album, it's not like written out in like sheet or formal notation or anything, but like it is written out. Like, I mean, we know what like each of the each of those songs have movements, and they were strategically planned that way to like be in the album. Our live shows are different, but we wrote them.
sorry. Ooh. Yeah, because it. Oh wow. Ugh. But yeah, they're like not super long songs. They're like 6-7 minutes long, and they just go through loops and bounds. And
Yeah.
I was listening to a band the other day, and it kind of reminded me of that. Is like Between the Buried and Me, is this like metal band, like progressive metal, but like they're kind of hard, but like sometimes like their songs just change so much.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of just reminded me of that, and it's jazzy and smooth and like funky.
Yeah.
And I love the like organ kind of like noise in it. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
That's cool, man. I'm glad. We have a good time. It's fun doing something completely different like that, and especially when people like it. Like, that's even way cooler.
Yeah, it's just super different, and it's just kind of like it's just neat.
Yeah. Yeah, we clicked, and I mean, the thing that I would say with that group too is like with like we've been playing together for 6 years. So it's been a long time, and in those 6 years, the cool thing that I think to see is like our live shows changing, because we know exactly what the other person's going to do in a live sense. Even if we're in like an improv section, like you just feel it. Like, like, okay, he's about to like change something, and like it always just clicks. And sometimes like we'll be playing and just, I don't know, like the stuff that comes out of our ass, like it's just amazing.
And you guys like all four of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, the four of you just vibing off each other. And so, how'd you vibe on how'd you get on the like genre that you guys recorded with? If you've been playing music, have you been playing that music for 6 years, or did it kind of evolve into what you guys are doing now?
Yeah, AJ and I used to jam together like since I got out of high school. He and my friend Kyle Boland, we used to like play all the time together in Kyle's shed out where that new subdivision is behind Casey's there. He used to have that big shed, and we would go out there and just like crank up and play for like 3 hours. And so we kind of had like an idea of what we wanted to do. And then JJ and Trevor played in a different group called Helen Keller Nation, and yeah, they were kind of the same boat too, like same style music. So we all had similar interests, and I think that was like the main thing was like, hey, we can actually like do this together. Like we actually found 4 people that like the same kind of music. So, there weren't a lot of arguments of like, what are we going to play? Like what covers do we want to do? And then when it came to writing, I wrote a little bit. I don't write a lot. Like I would say Trevor and AJ and JJ, they wrote way more than I did. Trevor has like a catalog too. Like, so we kind of like picked and choose out of the ones that he thought would fit with the group. So we took some of his songs that he wrote like probably 5 or 6 years before we even played them. So that was kind of cool.
And he wrote them like lyrically, or
Yeah, lyrically. Well, the few songs that have lyrics on that album, I would say most of them are Trevor's, I guess. I think he's got 3 or 4 on. No, I guess he's got 2 or 3 on that album. I haven't looked at it in a while. I forgot what the lineup is on it.
It's why didn't I looked at it? Well, it's 2018. The first song was like V8R or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I can pull it up on here, but
See if I can find it.
But so you guys started doing? Did you guys always start doing covers at first? Is that what you started doing, and then you transitioned into writing, or was it just kind of like let's start writing stuff like now, and we can do covers if we want?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. You know, we really we played together for probably it was over a year before we had our first show, and it was one of those things we were all kind of like, no, we want to wait until we're like ready to do this. And so we spent a year improving, learning songs that, you know, Trevor wrote, and then AJ wrote, and JJ wrote, and
did they write all the parts?
Yeah.
So they had written all the parts for everything already?
Yeah, and I mean, we would definitely give input, like, for, like, new songs, like, hey, like, somebody brings something to the table, like, hey, let's mess with this tonight. And so maybe somebody only has, like, a 30-second riff, but, you know, 2 rehearsals later, we have, like, a 6-minute song based off of whatever that guy brought. So the, sorry, I got sidetracked there. Where were we?
Oh, we were talking about how much of the music was written.
Oh yeah. And so you know, when we started like kind of getting ready to play a show, we definitely started throwing covers in and stuff like that, based off of our common interests and everything. But as far as like writing and stuff goes, I would say half of it was a group effort.
And is this the only band you've been in that does writes their own music, or have you been in other bands that write their own music?
All of them have written their own music.
Okay.
Yeah. So Nine Rabbits Laughing, the first band I was in, was my friend Nick Stanford. He wrote all of the music, and he basically talked I was hanging out with him and the guitar player John Clark. It was really the 3 of us, and then we went through about 5 drummers in about a 2-year span. It was just really hard finding a good drummer, I guess. But Nick wrote all of that stuff, and it was like he came to us basically saying, like, I want to do this. And so we didn't really venture off on that. That band, we kind of split apart, and then he actually picked up the music again. My brother actually played bass with him. I guess this was about 2 or 3 years ago. They started doing it again, and they started throwing in covers and some other stuff too. But it was cool to see that, and it was a really good learning experience. Like, taught me, you know, kind of how to play in different styles, and also how to just listen to whoever wrote the music and, you know, understand like their message, what they want to say and how they want to say it, and pay attention to that and try to replicate what they're saying.
Like teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
Just teamwork.
Yeah, a lot of teamwork. It's a team.
It's a team effort. I've made things with people before, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like no one person's in charge, and it's just kind of like he explained it one time. He's like, the reason we're arguing so much is because we care so much about what we're gonna do with this.
Yeah.
That so this is a good thing in a way.
And I see groups that do it both ways. You know, like most of the groups that I've been in, I would definitely say are more of a democracy, where it's, you know, everybody has a little bit of a say in it. Like, there's not really one person saying, this is how we're gonna do it, like it or leave it. And that's been cool. It definitely gives you, you know, kind of creative control, I guess. But also it gives you more responsibility. So you have to, buck up and do your own work. You have to practice at home. You can't just wait for like rehearsal day to pick up your instrument. Practice ethic has been one of my I guess love-hate relationships in life. Like
Practicing?
yeah, like getting into like doing it on my own. I always try to set up some type of home studio wherever I live, and try to buckle down at least 3 or 4 nights a week where I practice over an hour. And everybody tells you like, hey, practice 15 minutes a day, you're fine, and that's true. But sometimes it's really hard to even give yourself 15 minutes. Like, even today, like there are still times where I won't touch my instrument for over a week, and I hate that. It's hard to get yourself motivated sometimes. And this year especially, the lack of shows have definitely. I've had a couple weeks where it's like that, where I just don't touch my instrument.
Yeah, how about that? What's the last show you guys played?
So I've definitely been playing shows. They're monthly. I would say 1 or 2 or 3 a month tops, compared to 15 or 16. So it's been a huge drawback.
Man, you were playing 15 shows a month
Oh yeah, easily.
for different bands, like all the time.
I mean, really, in the last year, one-way traffic has been the thing that, like, I guess we've been the busiest. We've just, we kind of blew up. I actually joined the band after about a year of them being together. They lost their bass player. He actually had hand issues and, like, couldn't, like, nerve issues in his hands.
Oh, dang.
And had to stop. And it was, like, 3 weeks before they were going into a studio or something. And so Leah Osborne, she hit me up and she was like, hey, like, we don't really know each other too well, but, like, we know that you play bass and we think that you could be a good fit if you could come in and at least fill in for us for a while. P.S. We're going on tour this summer, so, think about that. If you could do that, that would be really cool.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
I just said, yeah. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so it's been a ride. It's definitely been a ride ever since. But
Is going on tour kind of like the goal? Is that the like kind of your goal? Is it like that's the kind of like, all right, cool, like, let's go hang out for a few weeks and just kind of road trip?
It's cool. I really wasn't sure how I was gonna like it, and honestly, even during the trip, I think everybody has like those moments of where it's like, okay, I'm ready to go home. But at the same time, like looking back on it, I can't wait to do it again. Like it's pretty sweet. And the one thing, actually, we were just saying this the other day, like looking back on like the way we traveled, the places we stayed, like just strangers' houses that were just generous people. They're like, hey, you're playing music. Well, we're going to put you in a hotel room and, hook you up with all this stuff. And it's like, we're literally surviving, driving across the country on people's generosity, and in exchange, we play music. So it's pretty sweet.
You guys are like little bards.
Yeah.
Little bards.
Flapping her wings.
Is that the first time you ever went on tour?
Yeah.
Okay, and that was like a year ago?
Yeah, last summer.
Last summer? So what, as far as like the vid and stuff and all the shows shutting down now, like do you do anything anymore, or do you guys just practice, or are you guys writing or doing anything?
Doing a little bit of everything. We're writing. We actually, once again, I'm not a good writer, but, sorry, I got a burp. A few of the guys in the band have written quite a bit. Like, I think Sam Avery, the guitar player, he's written like 5 or 6 songs, like in a 3 or 4 month time period. Like they're just hot right now. So Drew Lance, the drummer, he's written a few too, and same with Leah. Sam Apashan and I have not written a song for this group. Maybe it'll come, but I just
can't force it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you force it, it sounds like you try too hard.
Yeah, but so we've been writing. We were in the studio about a month ago. We got 3 tracks done for our second album to come out next year. We have probably 5 or 6 more that we're going to record, and we're going to release a single. That should be finishing up like this week, and we'll release it like the beginning of December.
Ooh, so that's like really soon.
Yeah.
That's like in a couple weeks soon.
Yeah, so keep your eye out for it.
Keep your ears open for what's the band called?
One Way Traffic.
Do you guys have anything recorded right now?
Yeah, we're on Spotify.
Okay.
So we got our first album on Spotify, a couple singles released, and a bunch of stuff on YouTube, some shows and stuff like that. So, and yeah, getting back to like the shows, we do have a few shows booked like every month. We've had a residency out in Columbia at Rose Music Hall. They got the outdoor stage. So it's like probably 400 or 500 people venue, but they're like maxing it to like 100 or 150. And so it's been kind of cool to just be able to play on a nice stage, good production and everything, and also have people come and enjoy it. Since the weather changed, they actually moved us into the Blue Note. So we have 2 more shows. One is next Sunday, and then there's another one in December, I think the 20th. Both Sunday shows at the Blue Note. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's as that band?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Well, so that's good. You're still playing music.
Yeah.
Like, there are things happening.
Yeah, mostly, like, I mean, since it was great ever since the weather, like, or before the weather changed. I mean, we were playing outdoor shows, like, quite a bit. Mostly private parties or just anything outside. We really aren't going inside playing shows. So, like, since the weather's changing, we're expecting to pretty much not have anything on the books between, like, January and March. Like, January through March.
Dang.
Yeah, it's
What
going to
about
suck.
Christmas parties?
Yeah, I mean, if it's outside, we'll maybe do it.
Do you have Christmas songs, like, ready to go?
No.
No?
We'll whip something up.
I thought that was, like, the thing. Everybody's got to have their Christmas album.
I mean, I definitely could, get in on some Charlie Brown Christmas or something. Some Charles Schultz.
Do they? What genre is that band, then?
It's kind of it's kind of bluegrass style. Like, we're using bluegrass instruments. It's, I play upright bass. There's a mandolin, acoustic guitar, ukulele, and then a percussionist. Drew, the percussionist, he uses like a cajon, which is like the box drum that you sit on and play. And the way we mic it, it sounds like a drum set, kind of.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. So newgrass kind of style thing, but we really have branched off in the last year. We're doing a little bit more of the jam band kind of stuff too. We get a little funkier, if most shows, like if we're playing a big venue, I get a pedal board that's got like all these effects and stuff, so I'll bring that and plug it in, make some cool noise. And the guitar player and I have a really like similar music interest, I would say, so we listen to a lot of jam bands. And it's kind of cool. He's like, Sam is 21, so he's a little younger than I am, and he's just kind of an old soul. Like, awesome music taste though. Like, it's great. Like, he knows more about like 70s and 60s music than I do for sure. So it's always like getting his input or just like seeing what he's listening to on Spotify. Like, he's always checking in on what I'm listening to. Like, like one time, I guess he had my brother and I next to each other. We were both listening to Tom Waits, and he like sent a screenshot. He's like, "You guys are ridiculous." I like Tom Waits.
I don't even know who that is.
He's like you know him if you heard him. He's like the really raspy, like jazzy kind of guy. Like, he sounds. Yeah. That's the guy.
The Downtown Blues.
Dude, I love Tom Waits. It's good. It's good.
What's your favorite genre of music? Is it jazz and like is it blues? What's the?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Because whenever I like listen to something like the Echo Bass Quartet, it's like there's like I'm hearing 3 different things.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's super cool.
I mean, on a regular basis, I would say I probably listen to, like jam band stuff. A lot of like, I like grunge music a lot. I like the grunge, like Alice in Chains, Temple of the Dog, stuff like that as well. But I mean, I get all over the place. You know, I'll go through different phases. Like a few weeks ago, I listened to big band music for like 3 weeks straight, and then like after that, it's like Neil Young for like 2 weeks straight, and it just never ends.
Well, and you said your brother played too. Like you played in a band with your brother.
Yeah, he's in Woodshine with me.
Okay.
So,
do you guys still play stuff and hang out and stuff?
Yeah. It's been a lot less this year. Our fiddle player Brittany, she and her husband just had a baby, so congratulations to them. So that's kept her pretty busy, and pretty much all of us have full-time jobs. So that group has kind of been a little less tentative this like past year or two. But yeah, we still play around. It's pretty local. We stick around the Washington area for the most part. Don't play in St. Louis a whole lot, whereas everything else is pretty much strictly like St. Louis, Columbia, Kansas City.
Well, yeah, and there's nowhere to play in Washington anymore. Is
yeah,
there?
Pretty much no. Yeah, you know what? Like that pit.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
No, I think it's BS too.
I do. I just wish somebody would open up a venue. Like, and don't open up a restaurant in venue. That's the reason why they never work, is because you try to serve food, drinks, and music all at the same place, and you can't do it. Like, it's Driftwood didn't work out. Yeah. Otis Campbell's was the best venue to play. Like, for any musician, they would definitely tell you that Otis Campbell's was preferred over Driftwood. And most of that has to do with the terrible sound in Driftwood, which everybody knows about. Yeah. But yeah, and I mean, like, Otis Campbell's wasn't like the greatest bar to go to, but it was still.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was fun for the musicians, and it's also fun, people watch. Like, Friday night at Otis Campbell's is usually a pretty fun sight. Like.
Yeah, that attracted all kinds of different kind of people and everything. Yeah. You saw it all. But yeah, that's like those were like the only two places.
Yeah, and like, Echo Base, we'd play out there like 4 or 5 times a year, and sometimes it would be like freaking awesome. Like, just so many people were there having a great time, packed, and like every once in a while we'll play in front of 2 people. Like,
oh man, what are those shows like? What is
that
like?
Sometimes they're our best shows. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's like
we'll practice shows.
Yeah, we'll just like put a wall up. Like, we're not even gonna pay attention to those 2 people. We're just gonna do our own thing. At least they're not heckling. Yeah, it's really hard to like avoid talking to a heckler when there's only 2 people.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious what's going on. It's not just some random guy in like a crowd of hundreds of people. Yeah. It's just like, hey, you go suck. Yeah. F you.
Thank God.
Is that the only thing you miss from not playing shows regularly?
Oh,
hecklers?
The hecklers, yeah, definitely.
Are there a lot of them?
No, really, we don't have to deal with it much. I would say like the most aggravating thing we deal with is people who come up and request like Man of Constant Sorrows and I'll Fly Away and
they're requesting
oh yeah, like anytime there's a bluegrass band, oh yeah, you're gonna be asked to play that song. Like,
what are they again?
Like the from Oh Brother Where Art Thou, the Man of Constant. Yep, that one.
They ask for that one all the
time. You know what we get, which is really funny, in One Way Traffic, we get asked to play Devil Went Down to Georgia, which is a fiddle song. We don't have a fiddle player in the band. Like, so we just tell people, like, no, we can't play that song. It's like, sorry.
Literally cannot play it. We don't have the right instruments.
Yeah, Wagon Wheel, that's one everybody always asks to play. There's a few venues that like will have it written like you can't play Wagon Wheel. Like, it'll be like somewhere backstage.
And why would they not want you to play that?
I think everybody hates that song. Like, except for
it's like well known that everyone's just kind of like, ugh,
yeah,
over it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you know how to play all those songs? Like,
yeah. Well, not Man of Constant Sorrow. I don't think I've ever had to play that one. Wagon Wheel, I've definitely played. So, yeah, it's hard.
You're just sitting there like,
yeah, pretty much.
You just like hate it. You're hating every second of Wagon Wheel.
Yeah, sometimes like a guitar player will start and he's just like, okay, we're gonna play this. We don't want to, but we're doing it for you.
Is that the worst song that you have to play sometimes? Or what is the worst song you've ever had to play?
I'd probably say so, yeah. Like, there's definitely songs that, like, I like, and it's nice to, like, have them in rotation, but, like, playing the same song every show, it's like, oh, let's change this up.
It's like Not Yours. It's like, it's also just like a crappy, like, it's just like not crappy, but like generic kind. I don't know. Well, I like the Wagon Wheel that was made by Old Crow Medicine Show.
Yeah, that's, the preferred one.
Right, and then it got famous, and then
Darius damn Rucker came in here and just ruined it. Hootie.
he ruined it. Because that's when it got famous and stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, I love that song.
Yeah. Like, seriously, Hootie and the Blowfish, man. Like, you got that one and Let Her Cry. Like, that's, or whatever that song's called.
Is that who the guy is? The Hootie and the Blowfish guy is the...
Yeah, Darius Rucker. Yeah,
that's him? I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's just, not my thing.
What's your favorite music to play?
I like playing Wien songs. I really do.
You never get those requests, though, do you?
No, you really don't.
What's your favorite Wien song to play? They got so many albums.
Yeah, I know. We do,
you do it as a band.
Yeah. We'll do, like, in One Way Traffic, we've been doing, one of the songs off of their country album. What's it called? You Were the Fool. Transdermal Celebration. I've done that one in a group before. And, my brother and I just jam on stuff, too, at home. So, like, we'll go through, play whatever ones we know. So that's kind of fun.
So yeah, you and your brother played together. What does your brother play? So you have like a wide variety, but you've kind of gone to like bass pretty much.
Yeah.
And you prefer that? You don't ever want to play anything else or try percussion or piano?
In a live setting, probably not. Like, I like playing these things for myself, but my brother, on the other hand, he's kind of a jack of all trades when it comes to the instruments, and can pretty much play whatever he picks up to an extent, at least. He's a really good mandolin player. He's a really good guitar player. He actually owns a lutherie shop out in New Haven, so he builds ukuleles. He doesn't really even play ukulele that much.
He builds ukuleles?
Yeah, they're beautiful. Like, it's like high-end ukuleles. Like, not like they're really cool looking. Definitely, if you ever get a chance to stop by his shop, he's never there, but if he is there,
he's got a shop, but he's never there.
Pretty much. No, but he's made some really beautiful instruments. He sells them all over the country. Like, he apprenticed with a guy out in New Haven for like probably 2 years before the guy retired.
That's
and then
crazy.
Yeah, he took over the business. It's pretty cool.
Is he gone a lot, or is it?
No, I mean, well, yeah, he does other stuff. Alex, he does like Katy Trail tours in the summer, and some other stuff. So that's not like his like main thing that he does. But once again, as far as him playing instruments goes, he's sometimes I think he's a better bassist than I am. Like, it's just like it's like, how'd you do that? Like, it's aggravating. It's really aggravating, but. Yeah, he's a really good musician. Like I said, guitar and mandolin are his two like main focuses, but he can play pretty much anything with strings.
Is he doing anything like with the band or anything right now?
No, I mean, we did Woodshine, and that's kind of been a little less. It hasn't been going on as much lately. He plays with the guitar player in that group, Matt Diener, so they play together a lot, and he doesn't really play out that much, though. However, he plays all the time. Like, once again, we live together, so at home, if he's around, we'll typically play like a good half hour, 45 minutes, at least a few times a week together.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Relieves stress, it's something that we can do together that's cool. It's either that or go down to the bike shop and nerd out on bike stuff.
Nerd out. And you guys, is the Woodshine the only band you guys have been in together? Is that the only one?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I say, he was playing bass in Nine Rabbits Laughing, my first band, legit band. So he was doing that when they kind of restarted, because I just didn't have time to do anything. and I mean, he's great. You know, it sounds awesome. I think, like I said, I think he is a better bassist than I am sometimes.
What are like your goals for musical future? Is that kind of something you want to focus more on, or is it like what are your goals?
Yeah, I definitely would love to not have to do anything other than play music in hopefully the next like 3 years. I would say it would have been 2 years, given this whole entire crappy year that everybody has had. I definitely have to like add on some time, but you know, when it comes to that, it's you know, there's a lot of things you can do to play music and, you know, make that your living. You know, I've taught lessons before. I'm really not great at it. I kind of enjoy it. It's just kind of a lot of stress. But playing music, you know, if I can book the shows and with these different groups, like the nice thing is it's like you have like one-way traffic. Definitely made like I probably made the most money playing with that band in the last year, which really helped as far as shows, just because we had so many frequent shows and decent paying too. I would say if that continues, like doing that and then also doing side projects on the side, like that's where I'd like to be. And I mean, if it picks up, like, I mean, we had a really good year last year. Like, we went on tour, and we made a really good name for ourselves. Like, you know, our social media multiplied by thousands, and, you know, we're writing music. We have albums out. We have, you know, like, it's a legit process our project that's going on. And, yeah, like, seeing that grow could definitely mean that I won't have to work a second job, which would be awesome. I love bikes, but I'm going to take the music over the bikes, though, for sure.
You'll miss the bikes.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I will. Yeah.
Do a bike tour.
Yeah. Just carry my bass on my back.
You can have one of those little sidecars that
Yeah.
all the fancy bikists
The little
have.
child carrier on the back.
Well, dude, I think, I mean, what else do you know? What else do you think?
I got nothing.
You got nothing? Well, thanks for coming and hanging out.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. This was fun.
That's awesome.
All right.
Well, and what are your band's names, and how do we look them up? How do we find them?
Echo Bass Quartet, One-Way Traffic. They're both on Spotify, and pretty much all the other streaming sites. So YouTube, iTunes, those things. Go buy them. Support your local musicians.
Hell yeah.
That's all I got.
Well, cool. All right. Well, thanks, Eric, man. I'll talk to. Well, I'm going to see you. I'm going to just stop recording then.
Okay.
I'll see you in a second.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Oh, take her easy there, Pilgrim.
Boy, I got vision and the rest of the world wears bifocals.
Well, son, since you haven't learned to respect your elders, it's time you learn to respect your betters.
It is, I think, going to be a very harsh and unpleasant kind of business, and will, I think, require an extremely harsh and unpleasant kind of man to see to it.
I'm your huckleberry.